In this video, we'll be looking at the data visualizations that we made before to create a heads-up dashboard. This will give you a good overview of the data you're looking at. In this video, we're going to look at choosing the visualizations that we made before. We're going to organize them into a single view. Then we'll look at the data that's behind it by drilling down and looking at the sources of the data. So remember this dashboard that I showed you in the last video? Well, the last video was all about making these visualizations. And looking across this dashboard, we have created all of the visualizations we've needed to recreate it. So let's go back to Kibana and put it all together. So if we go back into Kibana, we can see we're at this last visualization that we made where we did a unique count of the DBAs, or the doing business as, basically the name of those restaurants. So we did a unique count of restaurant names. And so now we can go to the Dashboard tab, and let's click the plus to create a new dashboard. You see the plus. And now we get to add visualizations. So let's read this. The dashboard's empty. Let's fill it up. Click the Add button in the menu above to add visualization to the dashboard. If you haven't set up any visualizations yet, visit the Visualize app to create your first visualization. So we've created all of these visualizations that we're going to use. So I'm going to click that Add button, which appears to do the same thing as this Add button. And we picked Packed as kind of a prefix for all of our visualizations. So let's start adding them. So I want this one, I want this one. Oh, I'm just clicking on each of the ones that we just made. So this is how I'm adding these visualizations to my dashboard. So now that I've done that, I can unclick or re-click that Add button to get kind of back to my layout. So I'm still in an editing mode. So let's give it a quick save so we can give it a name. Okay, so now I'm going to hit save. And okay, so now we're on a view mode. So in view, I can't really do anything. I can click on them to expand them. I can say, oh, cool, look at this data set. Or this is mushed up. Let's click it to see. Now I can see my whole map. That's kind of cool. What I want to do now is edit it. So I'm going to try to make this from my memory as close to what we had before. So I know I said, okay, for this unique count of DBAs, they had this average score. So I'm hovering over the title bar for this visualization. And I'm going to click it. And I'm going to drag it to the right. And now, boom, I got it on the right. Now I want this one, again, clicking, dragging up, placing it where I want it. Great. So now the map was upper left-hand corner. Let me go back to my view and see what it really looked like. All right, so I got this here. Okay, so let's recreate this. It's a little bigger than these with the donut underneath of it. So I come back here. Oh, I gotta find my donut. Let's find my donut. Did I call it donut? No. I must have missed clicking it, or is it lower? Oh, there's my donut. So unclick that. I have my donut underneath. See, this is messing with the ordering I started with. So, like the visualizations, to get your dashboard to look how you want it, it really takes a lot of playing with. So, I know I had my unique count and average score kind of both on the right here. So I've kind of laid out everything where I want it, but in order to get them to fit, I need to make it a little smaller because I got all this white space. So lower right-hand corner, I have this ability to click and shrink. So let's make sure I get the label in there. So a little bigger. Pull it down to about there. And now I can do the same thing here. I'll shrink that down to where I want. Actually, I don't even need that label because I see it in the title. Let's see if I can get the whole number. Clicking and playing. That's really what it is. So then I'm going to get that up here. Continue to shrink this guy down so I can fit it next to there. Great. And let's give my line graph a little more height so I can see the differentiation. And there we have it. I think I've pretty much recreated the dashboard as I wanted it to. So here I will hit save. I will keep the name. I do want to store my time. because the data we have is in a specific time range and it's not updating. So what you could do when you do this for new incoming streaming data like logs-data, you don't have to store the time with the dashboard. So when you go to the dashboard, it'll load whatever your latest time range was. So last 15 minutes, last hour, whatever you're looking at currently. So I've hit save and I've created this dashboard. So one thing I can do if I want to update it, I can click cool. I can click search again and it works great. Now here comes some fun stuff. Let's look at how we can drill into the data. So right now I have no filters on my data. So like we had in the Discover tab, remember when we were searching for data and we were clicking the pluses and the minuses to filter in and filter out data, I can do the same thing here. So I can say, I love Mexican food. I do. It is one of my favorites besides Thai. So I don't have Thai on here, so let's go with Mexican. So I'll find the Mexican part, and I can click on that piece of data. And look what it did. It updated, added a filter at the top, and changed the map. So watch the map. Went back to all the data. Turn it back on. Now we only have Mexican. So we can say we have 710 Mexican restaurants in the New York area with an average score of 16. And now we know, since this filter is here, that these lines have also been updated to only include data regarding Mexican restaurants as well as the location. So it kind of looks to me like Mexican restaurants are spread out pretty evenly on 5th Avenue, 4th Avenue, 5th Avenue. Oh, so if those two got combined, that would all be 5th Avenue. Open another 5th Avenue over there. So inconsistent data entry. But you can see there's a lot of Mexican on 5th Avenue. And then we can do the same. We can unclick that. And then if we come over here, we can do the same thing. So we can say, okay, I know all about this stuff, so let's only look at things that had to be re-inspected. Now, re-inspected to me means there was a problem and they had to go back and look at it. So let's find out where, counts, what numbers, where on the map, all that good stuff. So again, I clicked on the label and I get this drop down, and that's the familiar looking plus. So we'll click on the plus and it'll update. It'll add that cycle inspection, re-inspection. You can see that's popular in American restaurants. And again, all that data got updated. So here are, like when I filtered on the donut, I only saw the Mexican food on the donut. Here, since I've filtered on that cycle inspection, re-inspection, I only see that cycle inspection, re-inspection line. So I can do a combination. I can say, okay, where's the Caribbean re-inspections? So here I see a red dot right there. So average score 12, something like that. So if we drill into that data, I'm just double clicking here, drill. I want to see where this stuff is. Okay, so if I don't know this data again at all. So I would make an assumption on Caribbean food at the intersection of 101st Street and 101st Avenue. But this is old data, so don't let that influence your Caribbean location of food choice next time you go to New York City. All right, so we have drilled into our data. And this is an interesting thing that I find, well, something I find interesting within dashboards, is you can include visualizations from multiple data sources. So let's see, all the ones we have so far are the packed New York City data. Let's look at what we have in here. Let me find some, oh, remember that load visualization we made way back when? So now I've added load visualization. And so in that time range, you know, I get some system load in here. I mean, it doesn't really, it doesn't matter. It's not the same data set, but you can do that. If you're in a network operations center or a security operations center or you're a realtor's office and you want to watch two things. On your left, you want to watch any new prospects you have coming in, and on the right, you want to watch any recent home sales. Those would probably most likely come from two different data sources, but you can build a dashboard that shows you the data from both sources on one dashboard. It's just an option of something you could do. So we've already saved this. So if I click dashboard here, I will see my packed elastic dashboard video v1. Click on it and it comes back as we expected it. All right. We went through that pretty quickly, but we saw the resizing, configuration of the dashboard. We put them on the dashboard. We found the visualization. So that was the first step. Remember, when you're building those visualizations, the trick is to figure out how to display something meaningful from the data you have. So one way you can think about that is when you come to a dashboard in the future, because that's really the great way of putting multiple pieces of data together at the same time. You can think red, yellow, green if you want to do traffic light kind of stuff. But making those visualizations and then thinking about how those visualizations go together to tell a complete story or to bring awareness to multiple scenarios. Again, I'm thinking of the NASA Launch Center, another scenario. You have 40 people each telling a status. Wonder if you could get that all into one dashboard. So if anything goes red, you figure out what's red. If it's all green, then you're good. All right, in our next video, we're going to revisit quickly saving, sharing, linking to our dashboards so we can share them with the boss now that we've made something really, really cool. So we'll run through that to see what happens.